Good morning. Today we are going to talk about the circumference. First, we have to know the meaning of circumference. So circumference means the length of the outer line or the perimeter of any circle. If we have this circle, which called M, I want to find its perimeter. So here the outer line or the red line is the circumference of a circle. We cannot measure it using the ruler, so we have two rules. The first rule is C equals D times pi. C means the circumference, D means diameter, and here is our diameter. The diameter is the longest chord of any circle. So to find the circumference, we have to know the length of the diameter times pi, and pi here equal a constant value. It's a constant value which equals 22/7 or 3.14. He will give it to us in the question. And now the second rule, C equals 2 pi times r. So 2 pi r. C is the circumference. Here pi the constant value and r is the radius. So when we take out the diameter, we're going to put instead of it 2 pi r. Okay, and the radius is the line which join the center point with any point on the circle, which is half the diameter. And now like this. And now here we have the magic triangle to find the circumference. If I ask about the C, here I'm gonna to use my magic triangle. So hide the C from the magic triangle, it will be D times pi. If he asks about, or also we can say 2 pi r. And now if we ask about the diameter, so D here we are gonna to hide the D, so it will be C over pi, C over pi, or C divided pi. And now when I ask about the pi, so we are gonna to hide the pi, it will be C over D. And now let's find the circumference of each of the following when the value of pi is 22/7. So he give us the value of pi, so we are going to apply the rule. In letter A, D equals 8 centimeters, so the diameter equals 8 centimeters. So let's find here the rule. C, the circumference, equals D times pi. So C equals, the diameter is 8 times 22/7. When we put it on the calculator, here we have the calculator. So we are going to write 8 times, here put the fraction like this, here 22, and click down to write the 7 like this. And now the answer is 176/7. So the answer C equals 176/7. We can write this fraction into a decimal number. How can we do it? We are going to click SD, this bottom. So it will be 25.142857 and so on. Are we going to write all this number? No, we are going to approximate this number. So take the first two decimal places. So it will be 25.14 approximately centimeters. Don't forget the unit. And now in letter B, D equals 10 centimeters. So let's put the rule of D here. So C equals D times pi. C equals, the value of D is 10, so write 10 times the value of pi is 22/7, right? 22/7. When we put it on the calculator, the answer will be 220/7. We're gonna to click SD to find the decimal number, which will be approximately 31.43 centimeters. And now in letter C, D equals 4 centimeters. So we are gonna to write the rule. C equals D times pi. C equals, the value of D is 4 times 22/7, which will be 88/7. So the value of C is 88/7, which equals approximately 12.457 centimeters. And now in letter D, the radius is 6 centimeters. So let's put the rule C equals D times pi. No, it's going to be wrong. Here we do not have the diameter, we have the radius. So we are going to use the rule which use the radius. So 2 pi r, 2 pi r. So the value of C equals 2 times 22 over 7, the value of pi, times the radius which is 6. And now put it on your calculator. The answer will be 264 over 7, which equals approximately 37.71 centimeters. And now in letter E, radius is 14 centimeters. So we are going to use the rule using the r. So C equals 2 pi r. So C equals 2 times 22 over 7 times 14. When we put it on the calculator, the answer will be 88 centimeters. And don't forget to put centimeters, the unit. Here, radius is in letter F. The radius is 70 centimeters. So C equals 2 pi r, using the pi and r radius because he gave us the radius. And now C equals 2 times 22 over 7 times 70. When we calculate it on the calculator, the answer will be 440 centimeters. And now in letter G, D equals 70 centimeters. So we are going to use the rule which have D. So C equals D times pi. C equals, the value of D is 70. So write 70 times 22 over 7. Put it on calculator, it's going to be 220 centimeters. In letter H, r equals 35 centimeters. So the value of r, the radius, is 35 centimeters. So we are going to use which rule? C equals 2 pi r, supers. And now the value of C equals 2 times 22 over 7 times the radius, which is 35. When we put this on the calculator, the answer will be 220 centimeters. And now letter I, r equals 10 centimeters. So let's write the rule C equals 2 pi r, using the radius. C equals 2 times 22 over 7 times the value of r is 10, equals, put it on calculator, so the value of C equals 440 over 7. Can we leave it in this form as a fraction? No, click SD on your calculator. The number will be approximately 62.86 centimeters. And letter J, r equals 63 centimeters. So let's write the rule. Here C equals 2 pi r. So the circumference, the value of the circumference equals 2 times 22 over 7 times the radius, which is 63. And now calculate the answer. So it will be 396 centimeters. And now open your booklet page 45. Find the parameter of the following figures when the value of pi is 22 over 7. So we are going to use the value of pi is 22 over 7. In letter A, we have this figure. How can we find the parameter? Parameter means the length of the outer line. Here we have two shapes. Here, if we have circle like this, when we cut it into two equal parts, like this, here is a half circle and here also a half circle. So I'm going to take only one half. When we put it, it will be like this. So this curve is half a circle, half the circle. And let's find the parameter. So P, the parameter, equals half the circumference, which is half the circle, this curve, plus line 1, plus line 1. Where is line 1? Here, this 7 centimeters, we are going to call it line 1. So here, plus line 1. If we have more than one line, we are going to say line 1, line 2, line 3, and so on. So the parameter will be half the circle, the curve, plus line 1, plus this line. And now let's find the circumference first. Here C equals D times pi. how can we find the value of d? Here c equals this circle. When we draw the diameter, here this blue line is the diameter in our shape, which is the 7 centimeter, the value of the line 1. So the value of the line 1 is the value of the diameter. So 7 times 22 over 7, the value of pi, as he said in the question. So the circumference equals 22 centimeters. Now we need all the circumference or half the circumference. We need half the circumference. So half times 22 or half times the circumference, which is 11. 22 over 2, which equals 11 centimeters. And now let's find the parameter. So P equals 11 plus the line 1 is 7. 11 plus 7 is 18 centimeters. And now in letter B, we have this figure. How can we find the parameter? Here, let's see here. We have the parameter equals. Here we have half circle, as we said in the first question. And here we have another half circle. When we put them together like this, so we will have what? A whole circle, which means C, all circumference, the circumference. So C plus line 1 here plus line 2. So now we found the perimeter of the circle. And now let's find the circumference. C equals D times pi. Where is the value of D? The value of D is this line. This green line is the value of D. Can we go inside any shape? Yes, when we want to find the diameter, the line which connect the 2 points on the circle and passing through the center point. So here is the diameter. So 7 times 22 over 7, so equals 22. Do we need to find the half the circle? No, we don't need. We need all the circumference or all the circumference. So P equals 22, the circumference, plus line 1, 14, plus line 2 is 14. So equals 50 centimeters when we put it on the calculator. And now number 3, find the difference between the circumference. Difference means minus. Difference means we are going to make minus between the circumferences of the two circles with radii. Here 7.2 for the circle 1, we are going to say C1 circle 1, its radii is 7.2 centimeters, and 14.3 circle 2 C2, and approximate the result to the nearest whole number or to the nearest unit. And when the value of pi is 3.14, so we have to write the value of pi 3.14. We cannot write 322 over 7. We have to use 3.14. And now C1 circumference 1 for the first circle equals 2 pi r. We are going to use the rule which has r. Here we do not have diameter, so we are going to use the radius, which equals 2 times 3.14 times 7.2. Here, when we put it on the calculator, the answer will be 45.216 centimeters. When we approximate it to the nearest whole number or to the nearest unit, will be 45 centimeters, like this. And now, let's find C2. Use 2 pi r equals 2 times 3.14 times here 14.3. Put it on the calculator, the answer will be 89.804. Approximately will be 90 centimeters. So let's find the difference between the two circumferences. So it will be the big number minus the small number, which is 90 minus 45, which equals 45 centimeters. And now in number 4, find the parameter of each of the following figures when the value of pi is 22 over 7. In letter A, we have this figure. It's look like the cone. Let's see the parameter. P equals. Here we have half circle. Here we have this curve is half a circle. So the parameter equals half circumference plus line 1. Here we have the line 1. So here plus line 1. And here we have line 2. So plus line 2. Here, these dashes means we have the three lines are equal in length. So here this line is 6 centimeters, which is line 1. So line 2 also equals 6 centimeters. And also here the diameter, the line which is inside the circle, is 6 centimeters. So let's find the circumference first. Here C equals D times pi, because we have here the length of the diameter, which is 6 centimeters. So C equals here our diameter, 6 centimeters times 22 over 7. When we put it on calculator, the answer will be approximately 18.86. And now half the circumference will be half times 18.86. So when we want to find half the circumference, we are going to multiply the circumference times half. So half times 18.86. The answer will be 9.43 centimeters. And now, so here the parameter. Half the circle is 9.43 plus line 1 is 6 plus line 2 is 6. When we put it on the calculator, the answer will be 21.43 centimeters. And now in letter B, here we have this shape. As we said before, find the parameter. Here we have half circle. So P equals half the C plus line 1, which is 28. Now let's find the circumference first to find the half the circumference. C equals here D times pi. C equals, the value of D is 28, this line. So 28 times 22 over 7. Put it on calculator, the answer will be 88. And now let's find half the circumference. So half multiply C. Half multiply 88 will be 44 centimeters. We are going to put it in the parameter to find the answer. So P equals half the circumference, 44, plus line 1, which is 28. Put it on calculator, the answer will be 72 centimeters. And now we have in letter C this shape. As we said before, P equals, here we have half circle and here we have another half circle. As we said before, when we put them together, it's going to give us a circle or circumference, a whole circle or circumference. We do not need to find half and half, because half plus half equals 1. So it will be like this. So it will be circumference. So C equals, here we are going to find the value of C. And now plus line 1 plus line 2. So here like this. Now let's find the value of C. C equals D times pi. Here we have the value of D. Yes, the D here is 7 centimeters. So it will be 7 times 22 over 7. Put it on calculator, the answer will be 22 centimeters. And now let's put it in the parameter. So the value of C is 22 plus line 1 14 plus line 2 is 14. Also, can we add 7 and 7? No, we need the parameter. The parameter means the length of the outer line. So this half circle and the half circle and the two orange lines. Can we go inside the shape? No, we cannot go inside the shape. We need the outer line only. And now calculate the answer. It will be 50 centimeters. Here in letter D, we have this shape. As we said before, P equals half C. Here, this curve is half C plus line 1 plus line 2. And here, line 2 equals 7 centimeters like line 1. And now let's find the circumference first to find the half the circumference. C equals D times pi. C equals, here the value of pi equals 7 also, like the line 1 and line 2. Here, so 7 times 22 over 7, which equals 22. And now half the circumference equals half times 22, which equals 11. And now put it on the parameter in the rule of parameter. So P equals 11 plus 7 plus 7. So P equals 25 centimeters. And now in page 46, let's solve letter E. Here we have this shape. Here we have a whole circle when we cut it into two parts, it will be here half circle. If I want to cut it into another two parts, it will be quarter circle, or 1/4 of a circle, 1/4 times the circle. So now we have this line is quarter the circle. So when we put it here, so here we have quarter circle, not half of a circle. We have here quarter of a circle. So the perimeter will be 1/4 of a circle plus line 1 plus line 2, like this. And now let's find the circumference first. So C equals D times pi. No, we do not have here the diameter. We have here the radius. Why? Because here we have a circle. When we divide it into two parts, it will be diameter. And when we divide it into four parts, so this red line will be radius, and here the rest will be the other radius. So in the quarter, we are going to use the radius. In the quarter, we are going to use the radius. So here the rule of the radius will be 2 pi r. So 2 times 22/7 times the length of the radius, which is here line 2 or line 1, which equals 7. And now C equals 44. Now we need all the C or quarter the C, quarter. So quarter times C, which equals quarter times 44 equals 11 centimeters. And now put it in the rule of the perimeter. So it will be 11 plus 7 plus 7, which is line 1 and line 2. When we calculate it, the answer will be 25 centimeters. And now in letter F, we have this shape. First, find the perimeter. Here we have half circle. So it will be P equals half C plus line 1 here, 10 centimeters, and line 2 here, 10 centimeters, and line 3 here, 7 centimeters. And now we found the perimeter. Let's calculate the circumference. C equals D times pi. So when we have half circle, we are going to use the rule with D. When we have quarter circle, we are going to use the rule with radius. Here we have half circle, so use D times pi. So it will be C equals D here is 7 centimeters. Here is 7 centimeters because these two opposite lines are equal. So line 3 and the diameter are equal in length because here make one dash and one dash. So it will be 7 times 22/7. Calculated, the answer will be 22. And now I need half times circumference, or half the C. It will be half times 22, which equals 11 centimeters. And now the perimeter will be 11 plus line 1, which equals 10, plus line 2, which equals 10, plus line 3, which equals 7. Can we make plus another 7, which is the diameter? No, it's inside the shape, so we cannot add it in the perimeter. I need the length of the outer line, which is half circle, and line 1, line 2, line 3 only. Calculate, the answer will be here. The perimeter will be 38 centimeters. Thank you for listening. Hope it was a nice and easy lesson.